Hey guys, what is one thing that you noticed about me today? What am I doing?
Why are you laying down, man?
That's what the Panthers did today. They laid down to the Miami Dolphins today, losing 33-10.
It felt like 83-10.
Jesus Christ, man!
It should have been 83-10.
I just look. Tua look like Dan freaking Marino out there.
When did our defense get like this? Just get bad? I don't understand.
I mean, when you figure out a college coach midway through the season, it's pretty easy for them not to make the necessary adjustments at this point.
You know, the Panthers coming into this game with the number one passing defense in the league. And actually, they still will be after today, probably, because Tua had a great game, but he didn't put up a lot of yards. And the thing is, teams get ahead of us and they just start running the ball. They stop passing it. That's why we have the number one passing defense in the league, because it gets to a point where teams don't even have to pass the ball against us anymore.
Hey, man, look, Dante Jackson, we got to pay that guy, man.
Pay him what?
Pay him what? We can pay him in Bojangles. We can pay him. We can pay him in the big Bojangles box.
Pay him in Bitcoin.
A year free sweet tea. I wouldn't even give him Bitcoin because Bitcoin goes up in value. Bitcoin
increases value
over time.
It's actually worth something over time. Yeah.
Oh man, like that dude has had a rough month at this point. It's looking bad for him. He doesn't want to get paid. I mean, it's
teams are picking on him
because he's a bad corner. He's not good.
No,
okay. Let's be fair about this.
No, it's no such thing as fair.
I don't think if he's a bad corner,
overreact.
I think the scheme is bad. The defensive scheme sucks. I mean, how many times was dude just running free in the middle of the field against us today and last week? All day. They can all day. The commentators go, Tua hitting him in stride. Well, yeah. Look how open the guys are.
Kazi, you have a young daughter. She could have hit those receivers.
Yes.
It was pretty. I mean, when the field is wide open and there's nobody covering a receiver, it's pretty easy to hit your receivers.
You know, when Cam threw the 2 picks, Daryl Johnson made a great observation. Cam is having to throw in some really tight windows.
Wait. Who said that before today? Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Notice they didn't say that about Tua. They didn't say, man, Tua's really having to fit those balls in some tight windows, because he didn't have to, because guys was wide open. Wide open against the number one passing defense in the league. I don't get it.
Okay, we can't skirt over this any longer. Let's talk about the quarterback. Let's talk about QB1, okay? I'm going to go back to something I said on this damn show probably over 3 weeks to a month ago. I said, I don't know if I want Cam Newton even coming back to this mess.
I thought about that. I thought about that when you made that statement earlier watching the game. I thought we said, because boy, the haters, they was waiting.
The rules were out today.
They was waiting. They couldn't say anything last week, because even though the Panthers lost, Cam played a hell of a game.
Right.
And they couldn't say anything the week before because the Panthers blew out the Cardinals. So.
But specifically, the reason I said that, I have told it and I have said over and over again, this offense is dysfunctional from top to bottom. Wait. To quote my main man, Jerry Valancourt, our offense gives you wow moments. They give you moments where like, man, we're okay. Man, maybe we're not that bad. And then they always regress to what they are. The offensive line is terrible. The receivers continue to drop passes. The receivers continue to not run off these shitty routes that are designed for them. Yes, I'm doing some cussing today. I'm sorry. Now, the same things continue to happen, but we have a very polarizing big black guy as a quarterback, and he's going to continue to get all the blame for it.
Remember when I said Sam Darnold doesn't hold the ball too long, there's nobody to throw to? And people were like, well,
you know.
What do we see today? So if Cam holds that pass and that first interception too long, he gets a sack. And then what are we going to say? Well, Cam Newton holds the ball too long. Yeah, but if he throws it, you see what happens. Because DJ Moore didn't run his route correctly, actually, and it threw the timing off, and the route was able to get jumped. That's how dysfunctional the Panthers offense is. There's no cohesiveness there. Either the quarterback, no matter who it is, PJ Walker, Sam Darnold, or Cam Newton, they either got to wait for somebody to get open or, run for their life and make up one of those wow moments. Right. And we say, okay, all right. Ooh, well, I mean, we celebrated Sam Darnold having the most rushing touchdowns in the entire league the first 4 weeks of the season. But think about it. Is that really a good stat? Is that like a stat you really want Sam Darnold? We're not talking Cam Newton. Is that a stat you want Sam Darnold to have? Most rushing touchdowns? That means that ain't nobody open. He has no choice but to run the ball.
And what's going to happen is that you have real coaches on the other side who are going to make an adjustment to that and say, you know what, we're not going to allow Sam Darnold to have rushing touchdowns. We're gonna have a QB spy who's gonna play in the middle of the zone, and we're gonna shut that down. So in turn, we should make our own adjustments. But this is the Carolina Panthers. We don't make adjustments around here.
Guys. Guess who's the third most penalized team in NFL?
Well, it's not the Miami Dolphins.
It ain't us because we're the first, aren't we?
No. Well,
I think were we third coming in today?
We were third coming in today. I think we may have taken over first. But the refs ensured Dallas was going to get the last team on Thursday.
New rule. If your name is Michael Jordan and you don't own the Hornets, you got to move the hell out.
Go ahead, sit back down because you were saying the name Michael Jordan.
Right, yeah. If you don't own the Charlotte Hornets, your name Michael Jordan.
But seriously, man, like a heavily penalized team is an undisciplined team, which equals a not well coached team. And I'm starting to wonder, like, where is Rule's voice in this locker room? I mean, he sees us going downhill, and how much patience does Temper really have for this guy? I mean, I can't honestly see us being better than we were last year.
I was going to ask that question. At least the last rebuild in 2010, the Panthers got better each season until the third season when they finally won the division and made the playoffs. I'm not seeing that from this team. I don't think this team is any better. I don't think they're necessarily worse, but they're not better.
They're not better.
It's like they've plateaued.
Yeah, and I mean, as a
go ahead, Ryan.
And it actually, the defense to me has kind of regressed this year because they were a top unit this year. Tua looking like a god out there this week. Last week, you almost gave up 200 yards of rushing. And it's just like.
But I think the talent is there. I don't think those first 3 weeks defensively was a fluke. People are going to be like, well, look who they played. But I mean. It's just like. I think the
sorry, guys. Is there. Sorry, I'm messing up. Sorry.
Jamal, did Jamal doing his Matt Rule impression?
Listen, I want to be as incompetent as the team today, but I want to quickly speak to your point because it's very hard to understand with the talent that's on the defensive side of the ball why we're so bad. I don't get it.
I don't think that like Shaq Thompson is out of position just because he's lost out there. He's out of position because he's not in the. The play calling isn't right. I gotta think that. I mean, look at what the Dolphins did today defensively. They were like, we're just gonna get out. Remember that's how the Panthers used to do. How many blitzes did we run today?
Not many.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it.
I think look, man, we're not in the locker room. We don't have intel. I think they stopped really coming after Tua because they were scared. Because Dante Jackson had a target on his head today, and they was like, "Where's number 26? We're throwing to wherever 26." But man,
you got a secondary. Let's take Jackson out of the equation. You got Stephon Gilmore, who I guess is not 100% healthy, but then you still have AJ Bouye, who is not
who played like crap today too.
Yeah,
let's not get it twisted.
And then you got CJ Henderson, who also played like crap. The thing is though, is that if you have that talent in your secondary and they're all playing poorly,
right? That's
not on them. You got to remember Seattle secondary, the Legion of Boom. You know why they were so good? is because they were like this cohesive
unit. They were on the same page.
Yes,
right.
Everybody complimented one another. Granted, they had better safeties than we have, but
let me ask you a question. Did they have a college coach?
They did.
After they did.
But
he was a good one. He was the exception.
But Pete Carroll had already failed in the NFL.
Thank you.
And he learned his lessons.
So what you're saying is we need to fire Matt Rule, have him coach Oklahoma for 3 seasons and bring him back.
I don't, man. When I look at the Carolina Panthers, I immediately think, man, they're getting outcoached. Now the offense. To be fair, some of that blame does have to fall on Cam Newton. I mean, he's the quarterback. He's out there throwing interceptions. But when I look at the play calling, I'm like,
it leaves a lot to be desired.
How many slants did we throw?
I want to talk more about Cam Newton. Okay, I want. Let's break this all the way down. Let's be as fair and let's be as objective as we can possibly be, because nobody else is. Because the wolves are out today. Cam Newton's career is over. Let's get rid of him. Y'all know the narrative that's going to be out there. But let's look at this in a vacuum today. This dude has been sitting on the couch, going to Auburn games, taking pictures on Instagram for a good year. No training camp, no none of that. You throw him into not a fire, but you throw him into a damn volcano. Okay,
in the middle of the season.
In the middle of the season, in this highly inconsistent team as a whole, but this very dysfunctional offense. Okay. Cam Newton has never been the most accurate guy to begin with, okay? At some point, we had to expect this. At some point, Cam Newton was going to have that game. It's also okay to give credit to the Miami Dolphins. They made Lamar Jackson look bad last week, okay? Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right? Cam Newton is the same ilk. He missed some throws, but we're not going to sit here and act like DJ Moore didn't drop his first 2 passes. We're not going to act like Ian Thomas didn't do his usual dropping passes. We're not going to act like Chris McCaffrey was doing his thing on the sideline today. All that stuff matters, man.
Also, the game starts off, you're in a 7-0 hole. A block punt,
and then there's that
in the middle of the season.
And then there's that.
That's what, the second or third block punt this year?
Let me tell you how pathetic that block punt was. They showed a replay, and I'm not sure who the receiver was, but he pointed to the guy sliding over to the cover. He's pointing at him like, y'all go get this dude. He's going to block the punt. Nobody made an adjustment. No timeouts are called. Ta-da. Unreal. Unbelievable.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable,
so, man. You start the game down 7-0. It's what do you do? Last week, Cam and the offense spotted the defense 7 points. They couldn't turn that into the win. This year, special teams puts us in a 0-7 hole. To the offensive credit, Cam and DJ hooked up for a great play that led to a touchdown drive, and that was it.
When he threw that, I had so much hope. I'm like, man, we're throwing the ball downfield.
But I think that was the plan. Because everyone knew that Miami has this aggressive defense and the weak on the back end, so they were going to attack the back end. The problem is that when you want to attack the back end, if you don't have the time to throw long, then you cannot run these deep routes, 15-yard outs, and you have the worst offensive line in football. Now Cam only got sacked once today, but I think that was more because Cam Newton is Cam Newton. Not because the O-line did great, because PJ Walker comes in and he gets sacked 4 times in garbage time
and throws an interception.
And throws a pick.
Don't leave that part out.
All right, I just want to get this out of the way real quick. PJ Walker's not that guy. All right, next. Everyone just keeps telling, man, we just get PJ Walker has thrown 1 touchdown and 7 interceptions in his last 6 games as a Panther.
What else is that? What are we talking about?
What are we talking? Yeah, please stop bringing him up.
Guys, let me tell you the funny thing is, I'm watching the game, and in the third quarter, you might want to give PJ a look. You might want to give PJ a look.
For what?
Why?
That first series, he does an interception. Well, that's probably why PJ was on the bench.
I know that same thing. And the thing is, I like Daryl Johnson. He's one of the few people I can put up with when he commentates Panthers games, even though he used to be a Cowboy. But when he said that, I'm thinking, hold up, bro. All game you've been talking about bringing PJ in.
But listen, to be fair, these national guys don't watch us every week. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how dysfunctional this thing has been throughout the season. So, he was just kind of throwing crap at the wall, just like probably the coaching staff is at this moment. He was just kind of calling him like he saw it. I can't blame him.
The only thing the coaching staff needs to be throwing at the wall is darts towards their next job.
Resume. They need to be throwing resumes on Indeed.
I don't understand how you get out-coached every week on both sides of the ball, just every week. And, we still see the same stuff from Matt Rule, undisciplined team. How do you have that many? How do you have one player have that many holding and false start penalties? I don't.
And then on top of that, you had one of your leaders, Hassan Reddick, get the dumbest taunting call when you're down 11 and you need to stop on third down and you get a taunting call.
See, you know what? I was wanting to see if they would show somebody pull Hassan aside. Now I know Hassan Reddick he's a kind of a vet. But still, you got to hold him accountable. You got to say, hey, man, we're down 11. What are you doing?
A real coach would.
Yeah, and I don't think Rule did that.
Rule didn't do that.
He didn't
do that.
Guys, imagine starting a guard and left tackle and a left tackle at guard today.
I mean, that's
what
the hell are you doing?
What are you doing?
What the hell? Why?
I mean, look. You're the smartest man in the room. I mean, you know everything.
Since we're asking questions,
it's your team.
So here's another question, man. There was one play where Mr. Waddle for the Dolphins, who he had like 19 catches, 200 something, whatever he had today. So then
a million yards.
Yeah, a million yards, whatever. So the Dolphins are in the trip offense, right? We seen this last damn week. We saw the same thing last week. They're in the trips offense. We're playing man coverage. Mistake number one.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Miles Hartfield, who is a safety kind of / nickelback. Okay. They had him playing nickelback on this particular coverage. Okay. And it was I can't make this up. I'm sorry, but I can't make this stuff up, man.
Finish it.
Stephon Gilmore is not even on the damn field. And Jalen Waddle catches the ball for a 60-something yard catch, man. You can't make.
Why was Brian Burns and Hassan Reddick off the field two consecutive plays? They want to end it. What are you doing? Matt Rule don't watch the show, but
let's say the two words together. 1, 2, 3. College shit. That is the only way.
Yes.
Because I can't. I don't know, Rodney. What you got, man?
So Jonathan Alexander just tweeted, Brian Burns, I don't think about playoffs anymore. In my gut, I'm fighting for pride out there. That is so telling right now.
That is the most depressing quote ever.
Let me say this.
Jesus.
I know that I'm not pining for Ron Rivera because I think his time came and went. When he left, it was time. Just like with the John Fox era, it was time. But never would a Ron Rivera coach team give up and be like, I'm not even thinking about playoffs right now.
Listen, I can't even imagine what Ron Rivera would do to somebody saying something like that. Like, what kind of confidence do you inspire by publicly saying a quote like that? Well, I'm just playing for myself. That's basically saying I'm playing for me right now.
Right.
That's basically what that translates to.
So, has Matt Rule lost the locker room?
It sounds like it. I'll say it.
Yeah. I don't see how. Why would you play for Matt Rule? Why would you want to go out there?
Let me tell you why I play for Matt Rule. Because David Tepper gave him a 7-year contract, and his future is tied to your future.
Hey. He gave Teddy Bridgewater a 3-year contract, and they have Sam Darnold on a 5th-year option. He just give out contracts. He don't care.
Hey, David Tepper.
He looking real Marty Hernian shot there with that. We're giving away all that candy.
I mean, David Tepper is handing out contracts like like Nino Brown did turkeys on.
Hey, give me a contract. I can get false starts and holds with the best of them. You know,
I'm laying down like your offensive lineman right now.
I can.
Down like them.
So Swagner, put that comment up. Tepper needs to go. Yes, do that. Do that.
No. Byron Leftwich.
Either one of those guys is going to be better.
I got one out the box for y'all. Jack Del Rio. Anybody. Yes. Go get the old dinosaur.
I don't think you pry Jack Del Rio away from Washington. Although Jack Del Rio, he would love. I think he'd love another shot at coaching, especially with the defensive talent the Panthers have. But I think Washington feels like they're building something there.
Yeah.
And I think it would be hard to pull him away. But the question is this. This is only year 2 of the rebuild. How patient do we need to be? Like last rebuild took 3 seasons before we made the playoffs.
I'm going to say this. I would be more patient if I saw progress.
You told my point. Go ahead, though.
And we're not. I mean, the offensive line is not as good as it was last year. The offense is worse than it was last year. Magically, without even with CMC, we're worse than we were last year. The defense got better at the beginning of the year. It has regressed to where it was last year. And some of the coaching decisions, I'm just not a fan of it.
No, Rodney, you stole my point, man. It's like when you're rebuilding, you at least can see some progress. And consistency is one of those things where you could see during the rebuild. I'm not seeing that right now, man. And I'm seeing every week Matt Rule gets closer and closer to losing this locker room. When you lose the locker room, it's over. I don't care what stage of the rebuild or whatever you're. When you lose players, it's done. There's nothing else that can be done at that point.
Yeah, you won't gain that trust, that level of trust back. You won't. Which is odd because that was one of the things Matt Rule was kind of known for. That was
he was a raw guy.
Right. That was one of the reasons Tepper brought him in was because the way he changed locker rooms. But I think he's finding out, man, the NFL is a whole different beast. Building an successful NFL franchise is different than building a
leading grown men is a whole different ball game.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They're leading boys. I mean, it's I don't know, man. I'm just I just really want to know what's next.
I don't want to put it all on any single thing about the Panthers, though. It's not really just the coaches or just
the
players.
Look, just blame Cam Newton, man. That's the easy thing to do, man. Just blame the guy who's been sitting
like we weren't losing before Cam came.
Right, because we didn't have shitty quarterback play before him.
Look, man, if Cam gets a haircut, we win. We're gonna win.
What did Cam wear today? Clearly that was the reason.
Clearly that affected the throws today. Yeah.
Cam and Robbie look like they need to be singing about being an island boy with that damn.
Well, look, while we're here, what is going on with Robbie Anderson, man? And y'all know we don't do hot takes around here. We try to stay away from hot takes, man. But it just seems like more and more every week, man. Robbie got that money and has just been coasting.
I think,
and I'm pretty sure it's a little deeper than that, but you know,
I think Robbie's not a downfield receiver. He's not. We want to act like he is, but he's not. His best season last season was with Teddy Bridgewater, catching those 4-yard passes and gaining yards after catch. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. But I think the emphasis on this season is pushing the ball downfield more because us not pushing it downfield last season put us in a lot of bad third down
but you know what?
Positions.
That's a good problem. Any coach would love to have that.
Any coach would say, you know what, this worked for him last year, so let's do that.
Let's do that again.
Let's have DJ Moore as our deep route guy.
So let me ask you guys a question. I think we have 2 number 2 receivers. I don't think DJ's a true number 1. And I don't know if they particularly mesh well together with their skill sets.
To your point, neither one of those guys are like game changers. Neither one of those guys are like you know when like Moss and Owens and those guys were out there. Like you got to keep track of that guy every down. Moore and Anderson are not those guys. However, I still think they're good enough to be better than what we are. It's still a good problem to have both of those guys on your team. I think if this offense was a little more functional and more competent, we could still have way more success than what we're having with those two.
Again, we talked about this last week and the week before, and it seems like we talk about it every week. What is the Panthers' identity? Let's say offense. What is their offensive identity?
It changes every week, man.
Changes every week.
The identity is inconsistency is the best consistency.
So so the Panthers only rushed 18 times today, and I don't think it wasn't until late in the game until they were at the point where okay, now we need to abandon the run.
Right.
I mean, they were only down 11 up until Hassan Reddick is taunting in a game that they're losing, but
that's a good point.
But Christian McCaffrey rolled his ankle, so I get it. You want to protect him, but Chuba Hubbard only had 2 rushes. Abdullah had 2 rushes. What? Why?
College shit, man. Dude.
And so then you bring PJ Walker in. He runs for his life. He gets sacked first play, throws a pick second play, gets sacked 3 more times.
Look, man. Let me know if you agree with this statement or not. I don't know one quarterback who could have had much success in this.
I thought it was very telling.
Lamar Jackson.
See what they did to him last week.
I thought it was very telling that PJ Walker comes in and the very first play,
yes,
he gets just blown away.
And look, we weren't just giving up sacks; they were like bull rushes. There was like 3 and 4 people in the backfield. It wasn't just one guy; it was the whole damn D line in the backfield.
It was a turnstile. Like it was that one play, the first play that Taylor Moton just got. I don't know what happened to his feet.
They even called him out. Like I don't know, he just tripped over himself.
His brother had it. I guess he had all his money in his pocket and he tripped over it or something. I don't know, man. But
he's used to playing the other side of the field.
Yeah, you got a left tackle and right tackle, so you know.
So I mean, I want to call out something else. So Johnston and the other gentleman in the booth mentioned, hey, the Panthers are the only franchise in the NFL without back-to-back winning seasons.
Wow.
Hey, we're about to have 3 back-to-back losing seasons.
So, yeah. Leave some consistency.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, that's the consistency we're looking for, right?
Yeah. It's about to be a 4th straight losing season. Amazing.
Are we the Cleveland Browns South?
No. Nah.
God, no.
Nah.
Cleveland would. Nah. Cleveland, they will never say this, but they would kill to have the success despite inconsistency that Carolina has had over the last 25 years.
Right.
2 Super Bowl appearances, 7 division championships, 2 NFC championship appearances. The only thing the Panthers don't have is, they didn't get the chip. Compare that to Cleveland, who has.
I mean, they have a graveyard.
They have a different quarterback every
other season. So.
Now, we might be Cleveland in that regard very soon. Because the Panthers, if they don't figure out what to do about the quarterback situation, it's going to be bad for a long time.
Let me ask you a question. What is one thing that these guys need to do in preparation for the bye week?
I say get away from football. That might be an unpopular opinion. I just say I think everybody needs a break.
I think the players need a break.
You're right.
The coaches need to get their ass in the film room.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for cleaning it up.
They need to figure out what they need to do. The problem is that at this point in the season, you can't change too much. You can't ask the team to come out and do a completely different scheme than what you went through training camp and preseason.
However, you can put wrinkles in that same scheme.
I don't think our guys know how to do that. I don't think our coaches. I don't think Phil Snow knows how to put wrinkles.
Well, there's that, guys. Season over.
I mean, at this point, here's the crazy thing. They could win realistically 3 of the next 5. Those are winnable games. They have Atlanta and New Orleans, which are as bad as we are.
They're really terrible.
They're terrible teams.
Yeah.
The Buffalo, that's a loss. and the 2 against Tampa Bay. Now, Panthers will
don't know
probably
about
lose
both.
one of those against Tampa Bay for sure, but the Week 17 matchup will be interesting because Tampa may already possibly have won the NFC and may want to rest their starters, and thus that makes it a more even game for us. In which case, the Panthers would be 500 and be at 7th seed and win the playoff, and which is I don't know if that's even good or bad. I don't know if I even want to see them in the playoffs.
It's the way we're playing is probably bad. It's the offensive line is going to. There's no fixing that offensive line this season. It is what it is. It's going to be bad.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right, we're on the bye week next week. The next
Panthers lose.
Panthers lose a bye week.
Yeah, 50. Offensive MVP.
Zanga Dollars.
DJ Moore.
Yeah, I'll go DJ Moore. Made the only real impact on offense.
No, he doesn't get it from me. No. Look. His 2 drops contributed to that block punt.
Yeah,
true.
That's a good point.
No. That was Cam's fault.
That was Cam's fault, Rodney. Oh, you can't.
He dropped the passes because Cam's dreads were too tight.
You threw it right here in his chest.
No. He hit one of the numbers. He didn't hit both the numbers. So
you got to put in between the numbers.
Between the numbers, man. That's on Cam, man. That's on Cam. Do you even have a defensive MVP today? Anybody?
I'll go Brian Burns.
I'll go Brian Burns, not because of anything.
Because he was fired up. He was ready to fight somebody.
I give it to Brian Burns because he was mad on the side.
Right, yeah.
And that's why I'll give it to him.
Yeah, he was like, look, that was a homecoming for him.
Yeah.
And that's embarrassing. Yeah. Embarrassing.
Finally, I want to add a wrinkle. Coaching grades.
F.
All across the board.
F.
Special teams,
F.
Head coach, offensive coordinator, defense, F.
You got a red marker around here?
Yeah, you just
F. F.
I can't think of any facet in which they did anything good.
Well,
get up.
That's our Carolina Panthers. Hey, look, Charlotte's a basketball town now. Let's talk about.
They lost to a team they should have beat. Too.
Not yet.
We'll talk about that.
Not yet. Man, let's talk about the good because we need to talk about something good first with the Hornets.
Jamal, started off. You tweeted something the other day about attendance, and
yeah.
Speak to how big that is for us right now.
Okay, so currently our Charlotte Hornets are 14th in attendance. Now the average
upper half.
Upper half, yeah. Now the average fan might look at that and be like, okay, whatever. Like, what does that really mean? Ever since the Charlotte Bobcats were around in 2004, we have never been higher than 26. That is the peak. The highest we have ever been in attendance is 26 since the Charlotte Bobcats were here. Okay? So, for people like me, for people like Rodney, for people like Kaza, who were actively and regularly going to these Charlotte Bobcats games, which were depressing, okay? You would go and there would be 4,000 people at the game.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
This is a big deal.
You could buy a ticket in the nosebleeds and just sit courtside.
That's it.
I used to do that. I used to buy a ticket and then I wouldn't even go to my seat. I just walk down.
No. Parking used to be more expensive than the ticket itself.
Right.
A beer and hot dog used to be more expensive than the ticket itself.
I remember paying $4 for a ticket to the Bobcats game.
I paid less. I paid $3 for stuff up. It was $2 and $1 fee.
Look, I've turned down free tickets.
Right,
Yeah. But anyway, so let's talk about where we're at this week, man. We go 3-1. I really wanted to go 4-0. I thought we were going to go 4-0.
I told you 3-1.
You did. But after we beat the Wizards Monday night, I said, man,
that was the game I thought they would lose.
That was the game I had as penciled to lose. But we ended up pulling that one out. And that's when I said, man, we got a shot to go 4-0 here. So let's talk about the Wizards game, man. Roddy's shaking his head like, nah.
Terry Rozier is back. I mean, the Wizards game, he had 32 points.
Look. We need an apology from everybody who was writing Terry Rozier's obituary like he wasn't hurt during the preseason.
Right.
Like he didn't get hurt the first week of the season. Let the man play back into himself.
Right.
And he's showing out. That Wizard game was very special.
Now people are talking about the best backcourt in the league is Ball and Rozier. It's like funny how things change over a week.
I mean, hey man, the overreactions go both ways. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey man. Bench Terry play book night.
I do want to talk about book night a little bit later, but yeah, that Washington game. I actually though I'm not too hype over that win, although I had the Hornets losing only because I think I felt like Washington was going to want to get some get back because we had just played them and beat them. But I think Washington is regressing to the mean. They weren't a great team last season. Remember they had to come charging all the way back through the strength of Russell Westbrook in order to make the playoffs, and they lose in the first round, and they lose Russell Westbrook, and they picked up Spencer Dinwiddie. But I don't think Washington – they're not like top 3 in the Eastern Conference good. So I figured there'd be some regression to the mean for Washington. So I'm not really surprised. They've been on a slide, actually. So that really didn't surprise me. I expected us to beat Orlando and Minnesota because those teams just aren't good.
So real quick.
I didn't expect us to beat Minnesota.
So LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier combined for 60 points in that game against the Wizards, man.
Jesus.
Yeah. Not bad. LaMelo Ball, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, man. It's quite.
Hey,
those sound like all-star numbers to me.
I think. All right, this is my bold prediction. LaMelo Ball is going to start the All-Star game.
That's kind of bold.
He's going to get first of all, the fan vote is going to be dumb.
That part I would 100% agree.
And the thing is, I'm like, we've seen in the past where the fan vote was so high, but the coach's vote was kind of like, no, I don't think so. And that player ends up not starting. But I mean, think about it. Who's the best? Look at all the best guards in the East. Who's really that much better than LaMelo Ball?
Hey, side note, James Harden was getting booed by the Brooklyn crowd.
Right, yeah. I don't think James Harden will make the All-Star team because he's James Harden, but I don't think he should start. Not over LaMelo Ball.
I want to say this. Trae Young has been on a tear recently.
Yeah.
Trae Young is the truth. And that may be Melo's main competition. I think James Harden is going to get it on legacy vote, per se.
Yeah, So I think you could see Trae Young. Okay.
And also,
the fans want to see Trae Young and LaMelo Ball start in the All-Star game. That's what they want.
Probably so. Yeah.
Because I mean, who else in the East? You've got Lonzo Ball, of course. He's going to be in there. You got DeMar DeRozan. He's going to be in there. Bradley Beal. Zach LaVine. But so there's going to be some competition. But even though LaMelo Ball is box office.
What may hurt LaMelo is he plays in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Zach LaVine plays in Chicago. Yeah. Harden plays in Brooklyn, New York. You don't think so?
No, because LaMelo Ball has more social media followers than most NBA teams,
which matters, especially for these kids.
He's got 5 million more now. He's got almost 7 million Instagram followers.
And those people vote for All-Star.
Yeah. Because there's going to be an IG post, vote for me in the All-Star game. And those people are going to go,
here we are. Yeah. We'll vote Jello, too. Sorry. All right, moving on.
Time out. Got to go to timeout.
I'm going to go to timeout. I'll see y'all later. Anyway.
I do want to talk about that in a bit if we have time. I want to talk. We got to talk about Dad's statement.
Let's get that a little later.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a trend here. The game against the Magic, LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, they combined for 50 points that game. Think we played down to our competition a little bit in that Orlando game. Sometimes bad teams can suck you in to playing bad themselves. I think that was a game where we kind of saw that. But again, Kelly Oubre, 21 points. LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier combined for 50. It's going to get it done most nights, I think.
I don't know if it's so much that these bad teams that we're playing down to them, they're exploiting the one matchup advantage that they have in order to keep the game close, and that's the weakness at the 5.
At the 5, right.
You got Mo Bamba, who's probably better than anyone we have at the 5.
Can I say something about
Christian
him real quick?
Wood.
Let me say
Carl
something
Anthony
about
Towns. Yeah.
Mo Bamba is a lot better than I thought he would be. At the stage, man. I gotta give that young man his credit.
And
man.
I think,
and I'm gonna say this about Mo. Last year was a down year for him. He was still he had the long haul COVID, and I think it was the second year in the league, and now I can't believe I'm saying this. Now that they got rid of Steve Clifford, who's notoriously known not to play rookies or young guys, he's getting his opportunity to shine with the new coaching staff.
Yeah. Right. I think the expectation is different. With
Yeah.
Steve Clifford, the expectation was to come in and
get to the playoffs.
Where this Orlando team now, the expectation is kind of like with the Hornets, develop the young guys, and then we'll see what happens. But I think in these last 3 games, in the Houston game as well, they said, okay, the only way we can beat these guys is, they have a weakness in the middle, and let's exploit that. And although P.J. Washington actually has played well in the 2 games that he's been back, I think we all agree that a 6'7" guy playing the 5 is just generally not what you want.
Right.
And I even saw in the Houston game, Borrego being real quick with that leash to throw Nick Richards in there if he felt like
right.
Like, it was just getting out of hand.
I'm going to get to that in a minute. So, D'Angelo Russell, last night, I guess they beat the 76ers, and D'Angelo Russell quoted as saying, "We let one get away in Charlotte. They're not a better team than us. We just let one get away."
Man, you lost.
Hey, buddy, we kicked your ass by 18. It's not like we just and we look pretty damn impressive doing it.
So, watching that Minnesota game, and this is an indictment of D'Angelo Russell. On paper, shouldn't they be good?
They should be. Look, D'Angelo Russell, Carl Anthony Towns,
Anthony Edwards.
That's a pretty good trio. That's a damn good trio, right?
A great core to build around. Yeah, and it was so funny because the narrative, for some reason, before the Minnesota game was that Anthony Edwards is going to destroy LaMelo Ball. And
11 points.
Did he play? Did he even play?
11 points, minus 15.
Did he dunk on anyone?
No. He just pushed off a couple of times.
Pushed off, went negative 15, scored 11 points. LaMelo Ball put up a double-double. Get out of here.
Stop it, man.
So now D'Angelo Russell is essentially saying that they want to get beat by more than 18 next time they play us because
Miles Bridges is going to be foaming at the mouth.
Miles Bridges,
Ball is foaming at the mouth.
Terry Rozier done stapled that to the bulletin board. Yeah. That's
something very impressive about this game as well. P.J. Washington, 17. Gordon Hayward, 18. Miles Bridges, 18. LaMelo Ball, 10. Terry Rozier, 15. Jalen McDaniels, 14 points. It's a lot of people in double-figure scoring. Now, think about this. When we have all these guys in double-figure scoring and we win by 18, which I think that's probably the most impressive win of the year, should that be a theme going forward? Because we've seen in the past where it's like, I feel like this. I feel like the Hornets are a good team, but I feel like way too often it's 1 or 2 guys who really got it going, and then everybody else is kind of like, eh.
I think the problem, the Hornets' offense is predicated on
moving the ball.
Well, but more importantly, pushing the pace, and shooting a lot of threes, and that's always been Borrego's offensive philosophy since he's been here. We're going to shoot a lot. We're going to jack up a lot of threes. Everyone has a green light, which I don't like.
I like it.
But that's kind of a criticism I've had of Borrego's. Like, not everyone should have a green light, but everyone's got a green light.
Yeah.
But it's paying dividends this season. Hornets are like number 2 in the league in 3-point percentage. They're number 2 in pace. It's working. The problem is that sometimes it doesn't work. And then what?
And then what?
Yeah, then you don't have anything to fall back on.
But we say that, man. But at least they have an identity.
At least they do.
Yeah. Unlike this other damn professional team. Because sometimes you got to live by the sword or die by the sword. And if we do, we do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of is what it is.
In fact, in the Houston game, we lost that mainly because
I've been trying my best to avoid talking about this game.
Guys. Before we get to this Houston game, I would like to make a statement. So Christopher Galloway.
Hey, Chris.
I would like to apologize about making fun of Nick Richards. I was wrong. And go Tigers. All right, you guys
start that man. Start Nick Richards.
Is it time?
What do you got to lose at this point? Mason Plumlee's injured, so
I have a very unpopular opinion. Hornets fans are about to be mad at me, but y'all know I don't give a damn about that. But I think we were really missing Mason Plumlee last night.
We were.
No, we were missing Miles Turner.
Of course. But the reason I say that, Christian Wood, and look, we give PJ Washington a kind of a pass. He's 6'8".
Right.
Christian Wood is what, 7 feet, 7'1", whatever,
6'11", yeah,
something like that. Christian Wood had 7 dunks in the first quarter, 6 dunks in the first quarter. If you have Mason Plumlee, you at least don't have a size advantage. You at least have an experienced guy who would at least foul the guy and put him on the line instead of giving him just 6 dunks. Mason Plumlee at least knows where to be. He falls way below expectation when it comes to rim protection. We get that, okay? Other than kind of being a good passer on the offensive end, he doesn't give you much there.
Which nobody likes.
But he's on the floor for a reason. I know people don't want to believe that, okay? So I think we were kind of missing him last night, man. I do.
Yeah, I think Borrego feels like these games where we're outmatched in the center, we can make up for it on the offensive end by playing small ball. And sometimes it works. If the 3 is falling, the Hornets are unbeatable. If Kelly Oubre, decides to start lighting it up,
we're hard to beat. We're hard to beat when he's going.
But the problem is that sometimes that just doesn't work.
But let me tell you something, y'all. I hate to be that guy. I really do. I hate to be that guy. I'm going to sound like full homer guy, full fan. Let me disclose that. Man, the Rockets winning was fluky last night. I'm going to tell you why it was fluky. They came into the game shooting 31% from 3.
Last in the league.
Dead last in the league. They looked like the damn Golden State Warriors last night.
And it wasn't.
But listen, I don't even think we played bad defense.
I was going to say, early in the game, they gave Matthews some open corner threes because the Hornets overhung.
A guy I've never heard of, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then they stopped doing that. They shut that down. But then it was like.
Then that Brooks guy comes in and looks like Klay Thompson.
Eric Gordon shooting shit from the logo in people's faces. I'm sorry. If Eric Gordon pulls up from the logo, I'm going to let him take that shot.
Do it all the time.
He can take as many shots from the logo as he wants, but he was hitting them. And I tell you what, here's what did the Hornets in last night. I don't know. Fans don't want to talk about schedule losses, and normally I feel like the Hornets would be good enough.
Excuses.
Yeah, I feel like the Hornets are good enough to overcome a schedule loss, a potential schedule loss to a team as bad as Houston. But matchups matter.
Right.
The Charlotte Hornets are the number 2 team in pace in the league. Number 1, the Houston Rockets.
Yep.
So they're going to get out and they're going to run with us. So you got one team that just played the night before, hopped on a plane, jet lagged back 2 time zones to play on the road against the number 1 team in the league in pace.
Who
had that 4 days off.
They had 4 days off. That matters.
That matters. Because what ends up happening, so the Hornets come out, they've got jelly legs. They start missing their threes. The pace is blistering. You could tell, and it's a miracle that game went into overtime because the Hornets,
because we were in trouble at some point. Man.
I mean, a fresh Cody Martin doesn't miss that layup at the end of the game. I don't
43 first quarter points. 43.
Yeah.
Again, man. I know it sounds like terrible fan thing to say, man, but 43 points to the Houston Rockets, dude. You can't tell me that's not fluky. You can't. Now, let me be a bit more fair and a bit more objective. We could have did a way better job of setting the tone early. We were not physical at all. It goes back to what I said about Christian Wood getting 6 dunks in the first quarter.
Right.
It goes back to us not setting a defensive tone. But you could attribute that to legs. You could attribute that to the schedule. Whatever it was, it affected that game, especially. And we probably lost that game in the first quarter. Think about it.
Yeah. You give up. that many points in the first quarter. You dug it, and the Hornets. It's not like the Hornets weren't scoring themselves. I mean, they put up 143 points.
Listen, we scored 71 points in the first half.
Yeah, so
you say that, and you're just like, oh my god, they should be winning. But when you give up 73,
but I think that's going to happen when you have two teams with such blistering pace.
Yeah.
You're just going to score a lot of points, and there's not going to be a lot of defense from either of those teams. And one team was playing on the road, 4 days rest. Another team, playing home, 4 days rest. Other team on the road, on back-to-back. It was just plus the center matchup did not favor us.
Yeah.
And Christian Wood's he's not the kind of guy that's going to like slow the pace of the game down. He's going to get up court.
You know, and even Christian Wood, he came into the game. He's a center who's shooting 44% from the field, and even he was hitting threes and
right.
and getting whatever he wanted to at the rim.
Yeah, a lot of people also feel like that the rotation is too tight.
I don't know about that, man, because I don't know if I trust some of these guys.
See, that's what I was gonna say. You have to balance that between having your best players on the floor.
Right.
You know, we can't be like, well, LaMelo's not getting more minutes, but then ask for a 10-player rotation.
Thank you.
It doesn't work both ways.
Right. Man.
So
it's not like Kai Jones is going to come in and make some big difference.
The only player I think should really get more minutes is Nick Richards. Honestly.
I agree. I agree there.
I feel like you kind of.
I agree there.
You have to go all in on the center position.
I agree.
You really do. You just have to say, you know what? Screw it. We gotta play Nick and or Kai and see what happens.
I'm gonna go back to the Minnesota game really quick because Minnesota had a guy named Naz Reid who had some success against PJ, but then when we put Nick Richards on him, he didn't have that same.
It didn't look the same.
It didn't look the same. Right.
I think Borrego is really afraid though of you do lose some offense.
Yeah,
with Nick Richards out there, you lose some dynamics to your offense.
I think you just lose like those little intangibles, like some of the awareness stuff.
First of all, you can't stretch the floor. For instance, if you're on a pick and roll with PJ Washington, then
you got to guard the three.
Yeah, the defense has to be honest. You have to guard the three. He can pull up or he can roll to the basket. You can alley-oop. You have a lot of options there. With Nick Richards, if he sets a pick, there's one thing that's gonna happen.
Right.
He's going to roll to the basket.
And he may or may not lose the ball.
Exactly. I don't think Borrego likes that. But at the same time, I feel like at least defensively on the other end, you gain a lot by having Nick Richards there, just in that you make the offense think before they shoot. Right. I don't think anybody is scared of P.J. Washington under the basket.
Right.
Whereas Nick Richards, they may not be scared, but they're going to have to alter he's a natural 7-footer.
I like the way he goes up for dunks too. He don't hesitate. He goes straight up. And
he ain't passing out the post.
He ain't passing out the post.
He ain't trying to be like Mason Plumlee.
Nah, he's trying to go
or Biz and fumbling the ball.
Right. Well, I mean, he don't have the best hands either, but he is better than Biz.
Anybody better than Biz?
I'm about to say Biz hands are made of Jello.
You know, I mean, look, man, anybody's hands are better than that dude, man.
Yeah, I think Richards has done a pretty good job when he's asked to come in, what he's been asked to do. I think that he's earned the right for the coaching staff to say, okay, let's see what you got here.
All right, guys. Go ahead.
I got a question. So what's up with Vernon Carey at this point?
He can't play defense. Next.
I'm gonna go even further. I say kick the tires on him, man. I don't see anything. I don't. I see a guy who can come off the bench and inconsistently give you some offense, and that's about it, man. I don't see any real potential. I don't.
The coaching staff knows better than us or anybody watching this stream.
No, man, the fans know more than Brady.
You're right. Yeah.
What are you talking about, man?
They know.
Look, I play 2K and the chemistry is off with Vern because he's not getting any playing time. That's why I'm asking this question.
I think they know what we need from our from a center, from whoever plays our 5, and Vernon Carey's not it. Because think about offensively, would you rather have him or PJ Washington?
PJ.
You'd rather have PJ, right?
Right.
And defensively, would you rather have him or PJ Washington? It's the same. So, Vernon Carey's not the answer to the Hornets' woes at the 5 position. Nick Richards, I think, is in a much better position to take that
He
role.
gives us more of what we need.
Yeah, I think you try and package carry up. I'm telling you, it's a bonus. You call Indiana before the trade deadline, and you be like, "Look, man, y'all ain't using this dude." Right?
He's rotting away.
Yeah,
and that on that team. I'm with you.
That's how GMs do. They talk other GMs into blowing up their teams. They're like, "Hey, man, y'all suck."
But like I said on the previous show, man, like, why not us take that next step now? Yeah. Why not? Why not us? Milwaukee did it at some point. Like, why not the Charlotte Hornets? Why is it not time yet?
I think LaMelo.
Because at some point,
future superstar.
You know, as Rodney, y'all know, at some point, you got to shit or get off the pot. You cannot just troll along in mediocrity too much, especially with the talent like LaMelo Ball. You got to go for the gusto at some point. That's all I'm saying.
You look, that deal has to come within the next year and a half.
I'm Rodney.
The Hornets totally agree. I know Kupchak is not big on midseason trades. It's kind of not his thing, but I do think you got to make a move.
He'll swing the bat this offseason.
I think before trade time.
Look at this. He's tried to swing the bat. I mean, he made an offer to Christian Wood, didn't accept it. He made one to Montrezl Harrell, didn't accept it. He made one to Rashawn Holmes, I think, for more than what he signed with Sacramento.
Yeah. By the way, Montrezl Harrell and Rashawn Holmes, smart moves, guys. Yeah, but go ahead.
Real quick, I was so glad we beat Washington because Montrezl Harrell was acting a damn fool.
Oh yeah, he was. He was acting a total fool. He was out here banging his chest and flexing. Yeah, take that L, buddy. Go ahead, run away in Washington.
Could have been a contender.
Yeah, could have been going somewhere. Hey, Jared makes
no. We need to call New Orleans for that fat guy that they had that hasn't played yet.
Let's talk about that. I kind of want to talk about that. He is clearly, to me, in my personal opinion, not motivated to be on the Pelicans other than to eat beignets and eat gumbo.
This might be the most shocking thing I've seen from a high-level prospect in the NBA since like Oliver Miller?
Yeah.
And maybe this might be more than that because Oliver Miller was not as
Oliver Miller. That's
OG basketball.
Yeah,
there,
Oliver Miller was not as projected as Zion was. He wasn't quite as talented as Zion is. But I'm shocked at what I'm seeing when it comes to the Zion saga.
Look, I'm y'all know we don't have crystal balls, but I'm going to look into my crystal ball and I'm going to predict by the All-Star break that Zion and the Pelicans are going to have a fallout. Okay. So if I'm Mitch Kupchak, I give them a call. I'll say, look, Zion, we got LaMelo Ball here, brother.
Dog, but what do you give up for him?
Look. Starting out, it's going to be a combination of at least Terry, Miles, Oubre, and a book night, and maybe it's the first round.
And that's what scares me because you know
what, Miles Bridges might be my favorite Hornet, but I would seriously consider pulling the trigger on a deal with Miles for Zion because I think New Orleans would move on that.
Let me tell you something. People don't realize how good Zion is. This dude has not really been in shape. He averaged 26.5 points last year. This dude was not in shape. He was not in shape at all.
But see, and Rodney, you bring up a good point. That's the asterisk to me. That's the if. Is he going to be motivated?
But look at look at the situation in New Orleans and look at the situation in Charlotte.
Charlotte's a lot better situation.
Much better situation than coming.
And then on top of that, he's close to home.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he's back, playing where he could play college ball, back in the region that he's from. Much better situation for Zion here. I think if you're Mitch, you said, you go all in. You look to make the big move because right now the Hornets are 5th in the Eastern Conference, and I think they'll maintain that as the Eastern Conference starts to shake out. They'll be right in that 5th, 6th, 7th spot. And they've talked about how they really want to avoid the play-in this year.
Right.
They don't want to get the 7th seed. Yeah, I don't think they'll be 8th or 9th or 10th. Actually, I think they'll be better than that. But
they got to stay healthy.
If they stay healthy, they can be anywhere from 4th to 6th. but I don't think that's enough. Even I'm not sold that would be enough to get them past or into the second round.
Right. I'm with you.
Every matchup's going to be tough in the playoffs for them.
And not to mention, just not even just looking at this year, but just looking towards the future and looking at how LaMelo and Zion could grow with each other is a very scary thought, man.
I'm just saying, you got to, at some point, maybe not this season, but the Hornets have to make a huge splash.
Yeah.
You've got to do something to get to that
next level.
Yeah. And especially, even if you re-sign Miles Bridges, which I think the Hornets will do, okay, you got your core, but this core is as good as a fourth seed.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to do to get to contender status?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. A sneaky name to watch out for within the next year or two is Karl Anthony Towns, and I'm gonna just drop the mic on that one.
I agree.
That's a sneaky name to watch out for.
No, there's no other commentary necessary.
Plus,
I agree.
If you're Minnesota, don't you want that to be Anthony Williams or Anthony Edwards' team?
Right.
But it's not. It's Cat's team.
And here's my thing, man. Like Karl Anthony, and I'll say this, and I'm going to take it off after I say this. At some point, Karl Anthony Towns is going to be like, all right, I'm blah, 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 the years old. I want to go to a contender. I don't want to just mire in mediocrity for the rest of my career. Where can I go to take the next step in my career?
Right.
And that at some point that's going to happen. But moving on, the gauntlet is coming, fellas. By the time everybody sees our faces next week, now we only got 2 games to cover, but just know the gauntlet is coming. Next week, guys, Chicago and Milwaukee before you actually see us again.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think we beat Chicago, we lose in Milwaukee.
I think the opposite.
Opposite. I think LaMelo loves
I'm with you.
I think he's going to want to show up his brother. They're going to have a showdown. I think the Hornets slightly pull it out against Chicago. Chicago has looked kind of
they lost to the Rockets.
They lost to the Rockets too. Yeah, but I'll say this: they weren't as competitive against the Rockets as the Hornets were.
Yeah,
Lonzo Ball had he had 0 points. Yeah. They looked a little off. If I'm the Hornets, I jump on that. Milwaukee is just almost an impossible matchup for us always. Although we did beat them last season, but
I'm going to say this. Milwaukee, they have a lot of pieces coming back. Brook Lopez hasn't been playing. Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, I think they're probably 2 or 3 games back in, and so they have an adjustment period. If we pounce on them early, we can win the game, but it's going to be hard, man. Look, Giannis is having another MVP-like season. This doesn't
right.
Yeah.
We're gonna need Kelly Oubre power again.
Yeah. We didn't gonna need that magic coming off.
Like I said before, he's the player we all wanted Monk to be.
So are we all going 1-1 next week?
Oh yeah, I'm going 1-1.
Yeah,
I'm going 1-1.
I'm going 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
And if we go 0-2, guys, the sky's not falling.
No.
The sky's not falling.
Look, just remember, Rodney said 42-40.
Yeah, I said 44-38. We're in that range still.
I'm gonna save my prediction until another week and a half. That's what
was that? We're a quarter. Okay, so this is the quarter point of the season. Okay, give the Hornets a grade.
I go B+, man.
B+ as well.
B+,
yeah. I go B+.
I actually think they're a little better than anybody was expecting.
And also, I'm gonna say this too. We had a game like there's legit 2 games that I think we should have won, but we didn't come out prepared for. That was the Cleveland game on that Monday. Was it that Monday night?
Yeah.
Sacramento?
Yeah. Nah, I'm not even gonna say Sacramento. Last night.
Yeah.
Those 2 games.
Okay.
I'll go one more game. The Lakers game. I thought that was another one we should have won. But we had to play 2 opponents though.
We got reffed.
Yeah, we had to.
I'm about to say like that was really refereed, man.
Yeah, that was.
But we can't say that, guys. You know.
It's the Lakers. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Anyway, shout outs.
No, well, I want to give a shout out to. I want to give a shout out to the Clemson Tigers.
Oh God, here we go. Oh boy.
Listen, hear me out. We started out the season slow. Everybody was anticipating the downfall. We finished the season on a 6-game win streak, winning 8 out of the last 9, and we finished the season 9-3, and we still had a shot to play for the ACC championship, but Wake Forest and NC State had to mess that up for us. But the thing is, like, our down year is what you aspire to be. Florida State, South Carolina, NC State.
Yeah, he had to go there. Okay.
And then also want to give a shout out to the Gamecocks.
Oh boy, hurry up!
In our down year, you lost 30-0.
Just wake me up, man.
Yeah.
You lost 30-0. Shout out, Zip. You lost 7 in a row. I don't ever.
Man, how was last night, man?
Ever want to hear Gamecocks?
I hate the bar closed right when the game.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Oh, you done?
Are you doing
And then
that was Friday night. That was Friday.
It was dope.
It was dope. Yeah,
and then I want to give an RIP to Virgil.
You did magic and stuff.
RIP to Virgil.
Yes.
RIP to Virgil, man.
Yeah. Tragic loss to our community.
F cancer.
Prayers out to your family.
F cancer. Absolutely.
F it.
I just want to shout out everyone in the chat, like always. We see Mars, Chris, Swagner. Hopefully you guys can make it to the next watch party. We are planning another one here pretty soon. I also want to give a shout out / shout at to the death of yet another Charlotte institution. Manifest Records closes doors this weekend. What really wasn't surprising, Manifest was a bit on the decline of late. I think COVID really did them in. And, that whole area.
I wanted to buy me some vinyl. Jamal did not buy me any vinyl.
Because Jamal was not going to stand in that line for 2.5 hours.
We thought about going to Manifest. I was like, you know what? No,
that line was crazy. I went there. It was crazy.
Yeah, and that's an area of town that will probably undergo some pretty sweeping changes here pretty soon. Manifest had been there 20-plus years.
Man, I don't want to cut your shout out off, but I just want to say Manifest Records. I formed friendships from Manifest Records. Yeah. I remember going to Manifest and seeing a lot of the people me and you know perform out there. Yeah. I remember buying music from people we know out there.
So many local Charlotte artists that I bought their music at back when you bought CDs.
Right.
At Manifest Records. It's crazy.
Right. I remember going on some Saturdays and we would just hang out. We would just hang out and just talk about whatever. Yeah. But man, rest in peace, Manifest Records, man. My shout out goes to me. I need comfort today. I've had the worst sports weekend ever. I have to hear Rodney talk this crap about Clemson football. Florida State lost to that other team in Florida. The Hornets got beat by the Rockets. The Panthers are a damn atrocity. I need a hug. Like if there's any women viewers out there, I would like a hug if you see me in public. Other than that, man, shout out to the people who keep supporting us, man.
Rest in peace to Boney B.
Rest in peace to Boney B. Cannot forget that. R.I.P. Boney. Boney B is a very, very important fixture in Charlotte's culture when it comes to hip hop, when it comes to music, nightlife, all that stuff, man. Rest in peace, Boney B, man.
And I want to give a rest in peace to the Panthers season.
Pour out a little liquor.
I'll just eulogize it real quick. You came and went pretty quick. We had beautiful reunions, and hopefully we have a wonderful breakup at the end of the year. Guys, thank you for watching Under Construction, the home of the Clemson Tigers. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Peace.
Y'all take care. Bye, y'all.
Peace out, y'all.